Alright, hello everyone and welcome to a redo of my Smell Good Shea Butter review. This was of the bagged version of the Smell Good Shea Butter. And if you want the quick and dirty review, I am going to say this is a 4 stars. Now, I would normally not give a 3 or 4 stars to anything, but because I did notice some quality issues when I first got this, I am going to give it a 4-star review. There were some problems where the shea butter in the bags were very solid. I was able to still use it and I'm still fine using it, but I will say that was a big disappointment to me. Other than that, I'd say this is a great shea butter. And in the video, you'll see me using it. I was not able to show you guys very well what the bag looks like because I had them in an actual Ziploc bag. But I will have a picture of the bag in case you guys want to see what the bag looks like, and it will be on my website. That being said, it is a great shea butter and I hope you guys like it. It's definitely my favorite one to use as far as the brand is concerned, but I would say that if I had to do this again, I would get the jar version. The bag version is kind of hard to unseal, although it feels nice once you do get it unsealed, and it does have more of a smoother texture than the jarred version. A little bit does go a very long way. You don't need that much, just a little bit. And I have a tiny bit on my finger, and you can just rub it into your skin, like your arms or what have you. Like for example, I would rub it into the back of my right arm. Like I said, a little tiny bit does really go a long way. You don't need a whole lot. For some people who do suffer from folliculitis, this might not be a really good choice because shea butter is very thick and heavy. But if you can stand shea butter, I'd say this is a great one to get. It's very nice and very moisturizing, very easy to use on the skin. It absorbs quickly. So I hope that helps you guys, and we're going to move on to the jar version. Hey guys, and welcome to this next section, and we're going to go ahead and talk about the jar version of the Smell Good Shea Butter. This one I think is my utmost favorite out of the 2 versions of Smell Good that I've used, and the reason for that is this one is, I'd say, a little more softer. It's not as solid. It's also more easier to use on the skin. I just feel like it goes in a lot better onto the skin, although it sits more on top of the skin compared to the bagged version. So if I show that one, this one is kind of nice as well, although albeit, like I said, a little bit softer, not as solid, and it also feels easier to get into the skin. I'm just grabbing a little bit here, and again, I'll use the same area or a similar area. I'll just rub it into my arm. This one feels just as good, and it does absorb very nicely. I'm just patting it into my arm, and it's going in pretty well, although, like I said, it does seem to sit more on top of the skin versus the more smoother one. This also seems to glide into the skin a little easier than the bagged version, which is the smoother version. So depending on which one you prefer, some of you might prefer the smoother one, which glides a little harder into the skin, takes a little more pressure. Some of you may prefer the rougher one that has a slightly rougher texture and that glides in. So it really depends on your preference. I'd say they're both good, although I feel like the one that is in the jar that has a rougher texture, that one has more of that moisturization kind of texture. It doesn't feel as like it's going to wear off as quickly, whereas the other one kind of feels like it could wear off. So my preference is the jar, but that's just me. Anyways, I hope you guys find that useful. I'd rate this one a 5 stars. I've had no quality issues with either of the jars that we've gotten, so the jar version is by far my favorite out of this brand. Okay guys, thanks for listening, and I will